Hi, I'm Joey Hubbard, Chief Training Officer for Thrive Global. Today I'm going to clarify some of the myths about sleeping and how to actually increase your performance by sleeping more and sleeping well. Not true. Actually, your productivity increases by 29% when you get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. Well, the old myth is the more hours awake, the more I get done. What they know now is after 14 hours of being awake, your productivity decreases immensely. After 17 hours, there is no productivity. So people who think that staying up more actually increases their productivity, the quality of their work and the mistakes that they make and the decisions that they make are so greatly impacted by lack of sleep that they might as well not have made them at all. Yeah, so if you have trouble going to sleep, there's a couple things that you can do. One really important thing is to do a download. Your brain will keep you awake at night when you haven't completed actions. So one of the ways you can complete actions is just create a list before you go to bed of all the things you need to get done that haven't been done. And then commit to at least one thing on that list that you will do the next day. What happens is the brain now knows that your incompletes are going to be done the next day. After about 2 weeks, your brain will begin to relax and it'll allow you to sleep. So all of the science, there's about 650 sleep clinics in the world right now. If you took all of their science collectively, the lowest number of hours a human being needs for sleep is 7. Most human beings need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. And you have to kind of take the time to figure out what works best for you. That's true to a certain extent. When you're younger, obviously, you need more hours of sleep. Even teenagers can need as much as 10 to 13 hours of sleep, depending upon their age. When you become an adult, after 18 years old, the minimum number of hours of sleep you need is 7. Not true. Unfortunately, there is no catch up when you miss sleep. It can take you as much as 4 days to catch up from 1 hour of lost sleep. When a weekend comes around, if you're not getting enough sleep, make sure you do. But every day, you need to be getting the requisite number of hours of sleep. So if you are averaging 5 hours of sleep a night, after 2 weeks, Harvard Medical did this study where they showed your brain is functioning the same as if you were intoxicated. So you were legally drunk when you've only slept 5 hours a night for 2 weeks. Not true. Actually, the brain is like a dishwasher. So what happens at night is it washes out all the harmful waste proteins from the day. So what you'll see is, if you were looking at a brain on an MRI machine, that it's more active at night than it is during the day, but it's cleaning itself. It's downloading memory. It is actually storing all the data from the day. And so when you have a big, busy day and you have a lot of things that you learned, the most important thing you can do is sleep. Because sleep will actually be like a backup, like a computer backup for all the information you had during the day. So it's very active through the night. Not true. Naps are great for productivity. If you understand the circadian rhythm, we take about an hour and a half to go through a full cycle. And so a cycle is where you begin in light sleep, and then you'll go into deep or REM sleep. Naps need to be either 30 minutes or less or an hour and a half. Because if you wake up in the middle of deep sleep, and all of us have had this experience, we wake up and we feel worse than when we took our nap. So most naps are really effective. You can get a 5 to 10 minute nap and it'll actually create more alertness. And many of us have done that. But if you want to take a longer nap, 30 minutes max or a full hour and a half. Not true, actually. When you don't get enough sleep, you actually gain more weight. When you don't have enough recharge and recovery in the brain, you actually have a greater desire to eat. You want sugar more. And so when you aren't getting enough sleep, you actually will find that you gain weight. Most people actually lose weight while they sleep. So when you're sleeping, you're letting go of extra weight. So the more you sleep, the more weight you can lose. Not true. Unfortunately, when you have, for women, 1 glass of wine or alcohol, for men 2, it actually impairs your faculties about 74% for the next day. And the reason that happens is that while alcohol can help you fall asleep, it metastasizes. And once it does that, that sugar input actually will wake you up. And the other problem with alcohol, which is the most important issue, is it blocks you from going into the REM, into the deep sleep, where that's where real rest and recovery happens. So when you lie down and go to sleep, the most important part of sleep is the deep sleep part of it. Alcohol keeps you from having deep sleep. And so you wake up and you have a hangover. Why? I had no deep sleep, so I had no opportunity for my brain to fully recover last night. And that's what a hangover is. What happens that's interesting is we think we are adapting. So we start to change our awareness. Our ability to, be productive still keeps dropping the less sleep we get. But what they found is it's interesting. People don't recognize that they're not as good as they were. They only recognize it when they start getting the 7 hours of sleep. So many of the people that we work with say, I thought I was doing great. I slept for 5 hours for 10 years and I thought I was fine. Yes, our mind adapts to the fact that we are only sleeping 5 hours, but our productivity and our body doesn't adapt. Yeah, we'll forget our dreams. Usually within 30 seconds of waking up, all your dreams are gone. So if you want to be someone who remembers your dreams, you actually have to practice writing down your dreams as soon as you open your eyes. And you may have to guess because you may not even have retained a lot of it. But when you start doing that, what happens is your brain starts to now know, I want to remember that dream. And you'll wake up remembering your dreams more. It takes about a month or 2 of doing that exercise before you do. But a lot of people who study or practice working with dreams will tell you that if you write it down as soon as you wake up, over time, you'll get better at remembering it. No, also not true. Worry can wake you up at night, but insomnia can often be a more medical issue that might relate to anxiety or stress or some types of depression. So there's usually more of a medical issue for why you just can't sleep versus just worrying. I think that's an urban myth. It actually can stress people out to try and count something when they're trying to fall asleep, right? Because you're trying to activate the brain when the brain wants to relax. So I don't think that's the technique that you want to use. So what the research says is that coffee has a half-life. And so what that means is if I drink coffee that has 200 milligrams, 6 hours later, there's still 100 milligrams of caffeine in my body. And so usually the cutoff time is recommended around 2 o'clock because after 2, if you're building up caffeine in your system, caffeine can be another thing that prevents you from going to sleep. It's one of those things that you want to test for yourself because some people can drink a cup of coffee and have a great night's rest. So everybody's a little different, but test it. 2 o'clock is the recommended cutoff. natural, again, circadian rhythm of the body, around 10 p.m., most of our bodies want to start to slow down and fall asleep. Ideal sleep time is usually between 10 and 11 p.m. And so if you're on that calendar, because some people are working nights and need to sleep during the day. If you're on that calendar, going to bed around 10 to 11 is ideal. Naps are fine though. You can take naps in the day, naps in the afternoon, and they're a rejuvenating element of our sleep. But there is a natural, sun goes down, body wants to go to sleep, sun comes up, body wants to wake up. That is from thousands and thousands of years of human existence. It's interesting, I had a period of time in my career when I was working as a coach, American football, and we would stay up at the office watching film from the previous game to 1 a.m. and then I would have to come back to the office at 6 a.m. So I was not getting a lot of sleep. And I noticed how many mistakes I started to make. Jeff Bezos did a study about decision-making in sleep. And he thought he could sleep 5 to 6 hours and he was good. After the study, he wrote an article for us at Thrive Global. And his article was entitled, "Why Sleeping 8 Hours a Night is Good for My Shareholders." Because his decisions were so much better when he slept 8 hours that it made the company a lot of money. So it was a good move for his shareholders, and everyone's saying, "Sleep, Jeff, sleep. We can make more money," right? That's what I noticed about myself. My decisions were not as good across the board when I wasn't getting enough sleep.